Hey guys, this is Team Financial Fitness, and we just got a story off of Zerohedge. It came out last night at 10:45. It's about the national strategy for countering domestic terrorism. Doesn't that sound good and wholesome? Including your thoughts. And what was the thing? The title was Biden's...
It's going to be a crackdown on basically thought crime. So they're starting to say,
crimes.
Well, it's about being skeptical. Well, let's just read it. It said,
Yeah,
we may eventually learn that the new Biden guidelines have spurred a vast increase in federal surveillance and other abuses against Americans who are guilty of nothing more than vigorous skepticism. So if you're skeptic and you're thinking these thoughts,
if you're a critical thinker, you're not going to be welcomed by these things. Mm-hmm. If you think critically of things you learn and hear, mm-hmm. you know, things like medicine, mm-hmm. you can't do that. That's crime. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Yep, that's right. Now, this is a good one, all right? You ready?
Now, this is out of left field.
So they're adding this stuff to this national strategy. In June, they added that they asserted that guys who are unable to score with women may be terrorists due to involuntary celibate. They will become violent extremists. This was included in the administration in that national strategy that we're talking about, and it identifies legions of new potential domestic terrorism that the feds can investigate.
I don't know how they come up with this stuff. I guess it's just, how do they get this information?
I don't know.
Nobody knows. But if they could say that about this guy that they think's not getting mm-hmm. laid, then they can say anything. You can be reported to these people, and I think it's going to reflect on your social credit score.
Well, yeah, okay, so someone can even allege it, and the FBI now can go and investigate you.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
Hey, we heard you're not having enough sex. I mean, that's crazy.
Read that one. This one really scared me.
The report, quotation marks, suggests that police, social workers, and educators rate individuals on a scale of 1 to mm-hmm. 5 in categories such as expressions of hopelessness, futility, and connection to group identity, race, nationality, religion, ethnicity. To alert government officials to individuals at risk of turning to radical violence and to families or communities at risk of incubating extremist ideologies. The report recommended judging families by their level of parent-child bonding. Mm-hmm. So if these social workers and people, I guess, that are above you, you know, the government's up here and they dictate on what your score is. So they say, oh, you don't have the right kind of parent-child bonding, you know.
Well, it sounds, once again, this sounds so good because, well, it doesn't. But just for example, social workers, here several years ago, they got mandated if they saw animal abuse, that they had to report it also because there's like a 98%, I think, I'd have to look up the stats, that if somebody's abusing an animal, they're abusing a child. So this, on paper, it sounds good, but where it gets scary is they're across the board, they're going to give you a score. So, I'm going to my doctor soon. I'm going to be asking them this, trust me. Are they rating me? Because where are they putting this information, and what are they going to use this information for? To me, it's just another step of taking away our personal freedom and getting into our privacy.
It's bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
You take the bait because it's good for the kids. They mm-hmm. switch it, and they say, okay, you're not having sex. We're going to investigate you. I mean, that sounds crazy, and it sounds funny, but I'm not joking. It's anything. They can come up with anything and investigate you over it. This is from former FBI agent Mike German, commented, I quote, "The idea that the federal government would encourage local police, teachers, medical, and social service employees to rate the communities, individuals, and families they serve for their potential to become terrorists is absorbent on its face."
I forgot to mention also, in addition to rating individuals, they're also going to rate local communities. And they didn't specify how they were going to rate them, what they were going to rate them on. It was something about having recruiters. So they didn't really go into that a whole lot. But once again, it's just another step. They're in our privacy.
Nazi Germany recruited their own people.
They did. So did North Korea.
Yeah, and this stuff is already going on in other countries. Australia looks like a soup sandwich. Mm-hmm. It's a disaster right now. And the government's just oppressing the hell out of their people. There's no other way to see it.
It is. It's all in the name of your safety. And conspiracies, if you guys get into the Zerohedge and read it, it's had some really interesting facts. Conspiracy theories, this is what this is about. It's trying to combat conspiracy theories that are out there. They're saying that in the social media that all these conspiracy theories are involving. They've been going on since the 1960s. Heck, there's been things going on in the government since the 1960s, and they would seal the documents, including 75 years one time they sealed them, where we couldn't get access to them to see what was going on until somebody leaked the information. So it's not like this hasn't been going on. They've been wiretapping our phones. NASA's been logging everything that we say and do. Google, Gmail, everything you say and do out there on the cloud.
This is common knowledge.
Yes, this is out there, but this is just one more step. Now they're going to start scoring your behavior.
But before now, that was a conspiracy theory.
Exactly. Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
That's how you hide facts from the general public. Oh, it's nothing. They're just crazy conspiracy theorists, deplorables. Okay. According to a March report by Biden's Office of the Director of National Intelligence, domestic violent extremists, that's the quotation, including individuals who take overt steps to violently resist or facilitate the overthrow of the U.S. government in support of their belief that the U.S. government is purposely exceeding its constitutional authority. This is in there. Mm-hmm. They're recognizing people are starting to not really like what's happening. These Americans are different than other places. They'll stand up eventually. If you push them far enough into a corner, they're going to kind of bow up back. And they're starting to recognize this, and they're going ahead and putting it on paper. Hey, we knew this was coming. You know, they're going to where the puck's going.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, this is how I read it also, because we talk about how we view this when it comes out. It looks good on paper. You don't want chaos in the street. You don't want looters. It looks good on paper. However, at that last sentence, when the government is purposely exceeding its constitutional authority, we have the right to be skeptic, to step up, to say something, to question. And it sounds like that's what they're wanting to take away.
How does the Biden administration intend to fight conspiracy theories? The Biden terrorism report called for, I quote, enhancing faith in government by accelerating work to contend with an information environment that challenges healthy democratic discourse. And up here it says, and how can Biden be trusted to be the judge after he effectively accused Facebook of mass murder for refusing to totally censor anyone who raised doubts about the woohoo bat flu? I thought they did a pretty good job of it. And I know the Tube sure did, because I put some stuff out that was just gone like that. So you're not allowed to be a skeptic of any type. You're not allowed to think critical about anything they say. And we're here to shine a light on these things, because you won't be blindsided by this stuff later on. Because if you already know it's coming, you'll be better prepared.
Right. And
it's funny how many people watch us and watch other people like us, because we know for a fact that the news, national news, is 90% crap. They all have an agenda, and I just want you to know the truth and what's coming out. This stuff freaks me out. When I read it, I've got to share it. So this is Team Financial Fitness. I hope y'all have an awesome day. Like and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow.